This video is brought to you by Surfshark. Stick around to hear more about the discount they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. All right, today we're talking about the total degradation of what is commonly referred to as the internet. Now, you may hear that and think to yourself, what's with the melodrama? The internet is fine. What could he possibly be talking about? And I completely understand the impulse. However, if you're willing to take the time, and most importantly, if you're able to think critically, I'd ask you to give me a couple of minutes here to explain my logic and showcase a series of examples indicating that yes, the internet is on a rapid downward spiral of both quality and quantity, very much justifying the title of this video. Much like constructing a house, we need to establish a foundation before building the topic upwards, and for our purpose today, that foundation is called dead internet theory. Now, the term dead internet theory has debatably been around since the early 2010s, likely originating on internet message boards like 4chan, for example, with a moniker originally coined by a user named Illuminati Pirate. But far more important than its origin is its message. Dead internet theory suggests that the World Wide Web, far from its initial construction, has been overrun with bot traffic and automated activity, so much so that the supermajority of all online content is now fake. The theory proposes that when browsing online websites or even social media like Reddit, Twitter, or Facebook, you are most likely not interacting with human beings. Instead, as the theory goes, you are trapped in a cycle of robotic interactions with digital programs where the end goal is to either manipulate behavior or generate profit. It sounds matrixy, I know, the concept of existing online and only ever interacting with robots without even knowing it, but the bare bones of this theory is that generating online content through the mass propagation of bot networks and artificial tools allows people to manipulate search results, algorithmic promotion, and consumer behavior, which ultimately means profit through advertising, affiliate sales, even malicious attacks, or other similar methods. The most extreme part of this theory alleges that there is a small but nefarious group of powerful actors who exercise control over this activity for personal benefit. But with a lack of definitive evidence in that category, my focus today is on the broader underlying concept that the internet as we all know it is on a consistent downward spiral. To really begin, we need to establish something that many people may find to be shocking at the onset, which is that the basic theory itself has already been proven as true. According to analysis done by cloud security firm Barracuda Networks, less than 40% of internet traffic is human. A staggering 64% of all traffic online is composed of bots, with 25% being helpful bots and 39% being harmful. Now, some of you may be wondering, what does helpful and harmful actually mean in this context? And the short answer is that helpful bots positively impact websites and users. Think of search engine crawlers, customer service programs, or threat prevention. While harmful bots perpetrate things like data theft, DDoS attacks, or spread malware. We as humans already make up substantially less than half of all online traffic, but the figures get even worse. This right here is a quarterly report of actioned fake accounts by Facebook from Statista starting in fourth quarter 2017 and ending in 2022. Collectively, in that time frame, 5 years, Facebook has suspended over 27 billion fake accounts. On a macro level, the trend is quite obviously rising, and what's more, in a single quarter, Facebook routinely suspends upwards of 1.7, even 2.2 billion fake profiles, demonstrating the abominable scale of generated false traffic, at least for social media. And let's not forget, these are just the ones that they catch. Still, that's a known problem, and it's an issue that's been growing in the background for at least the past 10 years. What's the next stage of the process? All right, once again, especially given the fast approaching holiday season, it's time to pay the bills and give the community a substantial discount in the process on a service that pretty much every single internet user has a verifiable use case for. Surfshark, today's sponsor, is a VPN, a virtual private network, and VPNs help protect you from a wide range of nasty things online. Nothing is ever all-encompassing, that's not how cybersecurity works, but Surfshark protects against certain types of phishing attacks, malware, DNS tunneling, DDoS attacks especially, and also mitigates a portion of what is now perpetual big tech data harvesting and tracking. If you don't care about security, even though you probably should, Surfshark also unlocks additional content on streaming websites, like Netflix. You can easily change your region and subsequently enjoy increased options in your video library. Surfshark gets around regional censorship, like when a government decides to block things that they deem you should not see, and Surfshark also offers encryption, IP protection, modification, and more. For those that know why this matters, Surfshark operates completely separate infrastructure from NordVPN, and Surfshark also maintains a warrant canary. This is one of my litmus tests on a VPN, actually, given the nature of what a VPN is supposed to do, so good for them. If you click the link down below using promo code Echelon, you can take advantage of a special holiday offer with up to 6 months for free. Again, that's promo code Echelon with the link down below for a community-wide special holiday offer. Big thank you to Surfshark for once again sponsoring the channel. The next stage of the process is this. Generative AI has been sweeping across the commercial landscape with untold consequences, but one of the mainstream applications it is now primarily used for is content generation. Here's a couple of examples. Quote, anyone can make $5,000 to $10,000 a month running AI TikTok accounts. Unfortunately, most people aren't aware of this. Here's the blueprint to go from $0 to $10,000 a month. End quote. What we see here is a collection of AI-generated TikTok videos using tools like 11 Labs for the voice, ChatGPT for the script, Midjourney or DALL-E for the visuals, etc., etc. And the total viewership is in the hundreds of thousands. Sure, just one example, and yeah, that's relatively small in the grand scheme of TikTok especially, but what's missing is that this is now a burgeoning cottage industry. Here's another one. Quote, lazy AI setup kit to make $10,000 per month. CapCut for editing, 11 Labs for voiceovers, DALL-E, AI images, story blocks for stock clips, ChatGPT, feed your brain ideas, whatever that means, Swipe Builder for writing copy, end quote. Of course, it would be completely understandable for viewers to think, well, TikTok is a shithole anyway, so why does this matter? But the sad fact is that the concept of generating fast, easy, low-quality content with AI and then monetizing it with advertising is not just confined to one area. It's proliferating across the entire online world. Thread after thread after thread, hundreds of thousands of people viewing, interacting with, and attempting to emulate these results. And the platforms that they target are everything from TikTok to YouTube to general websites. Here's one of the worst offenders, or examples rather, detailed perfectly, demonstrating precisely what I'm driving at. This person refers to the concept as an SEO heist, a search engine optimization heist. But the real name for it is the enshittification of the internet. The process goes like this. Find a competitor, export their sitemap, turn a list of their URLs into article titles, and then create 1,800 articles with generative AI in just a couple of hours. The user goes into great detail on precisely how they did it, but one of the primary tools that they use is called Byword. Here's the thing. Byword is an AI-powered article generation tool that openly states on their website, quote, prioritizing by traffic. When we're talking about thousands of pages, it's simply not viable to edit all of them prior to publishing. This is partially because SEO is a long-term game, and the benefits of having pages rank sooner will likely outweigh the costs of having unedited content live. Equally though, not many brands can afford the sheer amount of resources required to edit that much content. This is why my advice is to typically not edit the content and just put it live. As and when pages start to rank, prioritize your editing based on what's generating the most traffic, end quote. That right there is very obvious, but let's just call it what it is. Generate as much low-value, low-quality content as you can, edit none of it, fact-check none of it, and just put it out there. Keep in mind, the original thread this tool was referenced by produced 1,800 articles in the span of a few hours, targeted them at a legitimate competing website, and siphoned off all of its traffic. Almost 500,000 monthly page visits, where 13,000 keywords were allegedly now on the first page of Google. Speaking of that notorious first page, for a time, when Googling Israel Kamakawiwo'ole, a famous Hawaiian ukulele player, the first results were AI-generated images. And if you thought that this would be an isolated incident, you'd be dead wrong. The invasive nature of generative content is already infecting mainstream publications. Sports Illustrated, exposed by Fortune, had multiple staff writers visible on their website, including this man, named Drew Ortiz, listed as a product reviews team member. His biography on the website read, quote, Drew likes to say that he grew up in the wild, which is partially true. He grew up in a farmhouse surrounded by woods, fields, and a creek. Drew has spent much of his life outdoors and is excited to guide you through his never-ending list of the best products to keep you from falling to the perils of nature. Nowadays, there is rarely a weekend goes by where Drew isn't out camping, hiking, or just back on his parents' farm, end quote. Yeah, Drew certainly likes to say that, but in reality, he's not even real. His photograph is a headshot that was available on an AI image generation marketplace, and to really drive home the enshittification angle, let me just read a quote from one of the articles he published. Quote, volleyball can be a little tricky to get into, especially without an actual ball to practice with. You'll have to drill in the fundamentals in your head before you can really play the game the way it was meant to be played, and for that, you'll need a dedicated space to practice and a full-sized volleyball. However, finding a good volleyball can be tough. Luckily for you, we found some of the best full-sized volleyballs in 2022 that are perfect for practicing your serves and sets every day. End quote. Remember, dead internet theory surmises that the majority of content we interact with, read, or click on is artificial, and the primary purpose of that content is to manipulate, control, or profit from the very few human users that are left. This article, if you can even call it that, is from a fake writer at a main stage publication with garbage tier falsified content simply intended to direct people into purchasing a product, epitomizing the very title of this video. Now, I suppose it would be prudent to acknowledge that I'm not exactly a novice here when it comes to bot traffic and artificial intelligence. Over the course of my recent work, I've experimented with integrations for ChatGPT on Twitter, creating a cutting-edge hate bot of sorts, really, to farm engagement for the television show Velma as an experiment. I've explored political propaganda bot networks and created false identities. I've generated artificial profiles, purchased existing influencer accounts, and basically interacted with the systems that I'm speaking about here and now for the purpose of learning about them. And I can say with absolute certainty that the general level of quality online is rapidly degrading at a speed very few of us can even comprehend. NewsGuard recently released a report where they identified 49 low-quality news and information entire websites that appear to be completely generated by AI. Quickly updating the report with an editor's note, because no, it's not 49, it's actually hundreds. These websites repurpose and regurgitate existing news stories from established websites, running them through generative AI filters to avoid direct plagiarism, or in some cases not even doing that, just scraping and reposting them. Sure, this is a problem that has existed for a very long time in some form or another, but it's a problem that has now been given jet fuel by the emergence of commercial technology where anyone with a smartphone can generate thousands of shit-tier articles and blog posts per hour. Bottom line, while the examples here are endless, from Amazon to Etsy, social media, and beyond, the effects are pretty straightforward. Dead internet theory, setting aside some of the more extreme or sinister implications regarding conspiracy and control by a dedicated group of internet overlords, refers to the idea that the online world you engage with is populated primarily with falsified traffic, personas, and content. That theory is true. It is true objectively, verifiably, and also, unfortunately, as it continues to escalate every single day, it will be exacerbated by the rising tide of generative AI and the pseudo-entrepreneurial shitshow of people thinking it's their ticket to making millions. The enshittification of the internet is all too real, and we all get to live through its golden age because it's in full swing right now. Fun times. That's it. If you want to support, there are links down below. The video sponsor, of course, Locals and Patreon for monthly subscriptions. Much appreciated. Some affiliate stuff, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, question everything. Always question everything. And have a nice night.